machiegni janeno mar LTN. Maendi en TV mari madholuo makelo ni bende weche makage kacha. Wakelo ga nonro pile pile weche gweko mamulo ngima mar Jo-Kenya. Molo ahinya weche mag dongruok, mag nonro, mag puonj. Kawuono niendi e studio kae antiere kod wendo mabende ok winj dholuo, kata kamano wendo en Ja-Kenya kaendi mosetiyo matek ahinya mano tero kwayo mare e od bura kata petition mar mondo mione kaka ji nyalo yudo mwandugi e yo makare. Mano e thuon mar wach madwa lose kawuono. Nyinga en Nick Okello. Welcome, my guest.
Thank you very much.
Maybe we begin by you telling us your name, tell the viewers your name, and then we get to know this job that you've been doing for petitioning Parliament to enact a law that will help us in our registration of properties, just to curb corruption. What was the drive behind it? Before that, please, let's know who is the petitioner.
Okay, thanks Nick.
Jina
yangu, my name is Gitonga Wathanga, mzaliwa wa Nyeri, mkaaji wa Nairobi, lakini nyumbani ni mbinguni.
Mbinguni. Nyumbani ni mbinguni. Kwetu sisi wote lakini.
Yes.
Sawa.
Yeah, we are just temporary.
Hivyo basi pengine nianze na kukuuliza Bwana Gitonga. Umekuwa katika juhudi za hapa na pale kuweza kupeleka ombi rasmi ama petition kwenye bunge ili iweze kufanywa sheria. Sheria hii unakusudia kwamba mambo ya ufisadi imeweza kukithiri sana katika hali ya kuweza kununua mali na kuwekeza mali katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Hivyo basi pale kwa maoni yako nikiangalia ile ombi ama petition, inaonekana ya kwamba unahofia kwamba pia pasipo kuwekwa kwa sheria zote zile tunaweza kuendelea kuumia kwa njia ya ufisadi. This is corruption at play. So you think properties when they are bought, this is where sometimes corruption lies?
Yes, thank you. To say the truth, actually, property is what people who engage in corruption, in illegal businesses, illegitimate businesses, that is how they claim their money. People, because the laws we have now, there's a big loophole as to how we register property. It does not, the laws we have now do not provide for accountability. It doesn't matter where one gets its money from. When registering, it's not a requirement to explain how one has come across such property. So my petition here is requesting that Parliament enacts registration to ensure to provide that when a person is registering property in any government institution, say the KRI, Ministry of Rights, that one provides proof of having bought that property with his own money.
Okay. Now, maybe now your experience as a petitioner in all this process, looking at these documents that you presented to us here that have been stamped officially from the Parliament of Kenya, we see it's been a long road, sometime since April this year. How has the experience been? How have you found this? How is the process of actually petitioning Parliament and presenting a petition of this nature gets when you are an individual? Sometimes as an individual it becomes, is it tough or is it just normal?
Well, it is. But actually, before I came, this is actually a move of last resort.
Yeah.
Initially, what I did initially, I did write to the Attorney General and give him my suggestion. But the Attorney General, being the mortician that he is, did not even respond.
Okay.
Thereafter, I approached a few members of Parliament, friends of mine, and I sold the idea to them. But whereas they did agree it's not a bad idea, they were not bold enough to take it on. They thought they were afraid they were going to be victimized by their colleagues, because as we all know, we all know who are the biggest beneficiaries of
this flood process. Yeah.
Yes. So thereafter, I knew there was this option in our new constitution, or rather in our constitution now, because it's no longer, as you can see,
it's our constitution.
It's our constitution. Yeah. Our constitution now, it has got various provisions that we can, as a citizen, engage provides that we can engage the government or the authorities. And one of them, Article 118, provides that any citizen can petition Parliament on any matter within its jurisdiction. Okay, so I took that upon myself and petitioned the National Assembly through the clerk.
Through the clerk of the National
Through
Assembly.
the clerk of the National Assembly.
Yeah.
After when I took the petition, after the clerk was satisfied that it meets the threshold, it meets the threshold of the standing orders, then it was approved. And then it was forwarded to the House, to the Speaker of the House, whereby the Speaker of the House tabled the petition, I think on 28th of July, and then he forwarded it to the relevant committee. In this case, it is the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee to deliberate on it. Thereafter, I was invited by the Justice Legal Affairs Committee to shed more light on the petition. I think that was in October, beginning of October.
October.
Yeah, beginning of was it October or September? I think I'm getting mixed up.
Okay.
Around that time, and we start with the committee. Then I explained further what is the intention, of which they also did understand. And they agreed with my prayer that we really need to enact laws to provide for accountability of our wealth, the sources of our wealth.
Okay.
And now they are in the process now of compiling the report. And once it is finished, compiling the report, they're gonna table it in the House now, either and then for debate.
For debate now.
Yes.
Yeah, that one sounds quite a duty for you as an individual. You said that you drew all this inspiration from the provisions of the Constitution, that as a citizen you can do that. So you're making it clear to Kenyans out there that any Kenyan that feels he or she has got something that he wants legislated can use the same route to actualize their need.
Yes, that is very true.
Yeah.
And we know our parliamentarians have not really been very proactive in pushing our agenda.
Yeah.
So it is upon us as well, citizens. We can give them our agenda to deliberate on it. We don't necessarily have to wait for them to come up with our agenda, because previously there wasn't this provision. But now, if we see our legislators are feeling us, then we as a people now have the duty,
the power now.
Yes, to give them work to do.
Wonderful.
Yes.
That's a wonderful provision of the Constitution. I think very many Kenyans might not be in the know, but now it's very clear. You are a practical example of what the Constitution has provided for Mwananchi. Now, that aside, Mr. Gitonga, tell us on this in this whole process, you have actually encountered very many people. You've met very many officials of the government, legislators here and there. Tell me, do you think you had enough or sufficient support from these people?
Yeah, thanks, Nick, for that. Okay, to be honest, I have interacted with a lot of parliamentarians. We have a lot of professional organizations on the matter. And a lot of people generally, and a lot of professionals individually, and it's really getting support. You know, people are they are warming up to it, and they really think it's a good idea. Now, but I know we have a problem because mostly we are individuals, personalities first, and most people first they think about their individual self rather than the public,
the bigger interest.
Yeah, the bigger interest. So that is where the challenge is. Whereas they think this is the way we should go. It is a threat on many people's personal interests.
Of course.
It's a threat on many people's personal interests. So that's where the challenge lies in. And but now we need to put pressure on the house, on our members, that for once, be it just for once, they act in
good faith,
in the national interest.
In the national interest. Hopefully this time around they should act, Gitonga. They should act, because very many times Kenyans have been crying foul on of our legislators having just thrown everything that is of public interest out of the windows and only looking at what is supposed to be their own interest. Hopefully our prayers are with you that they take this one so seriously. However, I think you might also face some serious hurdles when it becomes to, when it comes to the table on the floor of the House for debate, because very many members, as you say, perhaps are beneficiaries of this very flawed process, and they would think that this is actually placing or shooting themselves in the foot.
I agree, but on the other hand, it's a challenge. I'm challenging any member of parliament to tell us any reason why, any good reason why we cannot enact this. Why? Because what my prayer here is, it's very simple. That once I want to register that car, I want to register that piece of land I bought, I want to register that building, I attach a document that I normally get when I'm paying for it. When one is paying for property, the norm now is to do a transfer from the seller. The seller doesn't transfer to the buyer. And there is that form, remittance form from any bank that one gets. Yes, that one gets, right? So what my prayer is that form now becomes a mandatory requirement, like an ID, like the way it is square, that you provide an ID, your PIN, then the transfer form. So in addition to that, we attach that form.
You would be reading a riot act to them, yet you want the same bill to be passed by them. However, we believe that their concerns, and clearly concerns, will really lead them while doing that. Now, maybe going forward, talking about corruption in properties, talking about corruption in property buying. This is where Kenyans have actually lost the whole thing. It's good you've seen this, but then when somebody buys, maybe examples of where you think this money gets swindled and how it gets lost and how the Kenyan government loses revenue on this. Maybe you can point out on this. I believe Kenya also loses revenue on this.
Of course, other than now also having corruption, this requirement will also eliminate fraud. All right. A lot of people have lost property through being transferred fraudulently. People just forge signatures, and the property is gone. Be it a car or building, people have lost property like that. But with this requirement, that will be a thing of the past.
True.
Because one has to show that the money has gone to the seller. The other one is that once properties are identified, properly identified, and they are known to belong to people, then government now can thereafter claim taxes on them. What is happening now is that we have a lot of properties out there that really are not in the tax bracket because they are not really known whom they belong to.
And Kenya loses billions on this.
Of course they do. Of course they do, because you cannot. Whom do you collect tax from?
True.
A good example is that hotel of the private developer on Langata Road, Weston Hotel. For a long time there was a debate.
Once again, true. Carry on.
There was a debate for a long time. That who owns the property, and there were denials until now. Until much later now, the private developer in the name of the DP came out and said, "Oh yes."
Is it William Ruto?
Oh yes, if I remember right, yes.
Is actually now the declared owner of that property?
Yes, he did say that he has got interest. What he didn't tell us is. And what he's probably trying to hide is probably he's got 100% interest, but he doesn't want to tell us that. But with this one, we'll be able to tell. We don't have to rely on the goodwill of private developers like the DP. You know, there was also the issue of the land next to it.
The Langata Primary land.
It was, there was a huge debate. And even up to now, we don't know who is the Arab Sinal Who is the scene? The scene developers.
If I'm not wrong, if I remember well, the National Land Commission actually came out and said the land belongs to the Langata Primary School. The private developers just wanted the land. I mean, it is this kind of things that we must actually bring out through this bill. Or what do you think?
Yes, it is, and it will cover out of that. It will, definitely. It will cover out of that, especially high-level corruption.
Yeah.
For instance, now there's Waiguru money.
Yeah.
You know, if there was this requirement, you know, she would love to have people
Waiguru money or NYS money.
To be honest, now, this is their money.
Yeah.
This is their money, and the problem we have, the biggest problem we have is Kenya. The President Uhuru sees the picture of his dad on our currency, and he takes the money to be all his. So,
I mean, you'll hold it there. Just hold it there. President Uhuru Kenyatta sees the profit of his father on our currencies and the things that all money belongs to their family. That's that's crazy. We are going for a short break anyway. Just at that very point, we'll be coming back very soon to continue with this debate. It's getting interesting. We must fight corruption. We must register our properties. We must get our revenues back as a country. That is according to Gitonga Wathanga, who is a petitioner for this in Parliament, and hopefully things will go the way he wants. Now, this is LTN. If you have any messages you'd want to do, please send your SMS, and on that on the number on your screen, that is 20977. Our Facebook page is Lolwe TV, and then our Twitter is at Lolwe TV. We'll be coming back shortly after this. Welcome back, our viewers, wherever you are. If you're joining us right now, we are continuing with our debate on corruption and the petition that was presented in Parliament by one Gitonga Wathanga, who is a patriotic Kenyan who wants to see corruption end by all means, by ensuring that all the properties that we've got are well registered and documented for the safety of our people and for records, and indeed for our revenue as a country. I'm back to you, Mr. Gitonga. While you're going for the break, you just said that Uhuru Kenyatta looks at our currencies and sees the portrait of his father on the currencies, and then there's a misperception that this money should be belonging to the family. I mean, this is crazy. Why do you think so?
The facts are obvious. You only need to look at the facts.
Yeah.
Otherwise, how do you explain? He wakes up one morning and says, "Okay, pay 1 point, I don't know how many billion to agro-leasing." Okay.
Who is Anglo-leasing in this case? I mean, who is Anglo-leasing?
Without going even through Parliament, and Parliament was supposed to
fight that and approve.
Yeah, these are payments that were contentious, that were for goods and services that were not really delivered. But against all advice, he wakes up and says, "You pay that money, 1.5 billion, no question asked." Thereafter, he says, "Kalonzo naira usiwapatie pesa, don't pay them." They are still active in politics. Ministry of Devolution, I don't know what, they do what, you give them money. They have a Ministry of Devolution, or Ministry of Waiguru has got a budget now of actually a total of 80 billion. I think it's 85 billion.
85 billion.
85 billion planning and devolution.
Yeah.
For what functions? Not explained.
For planning and devolution matters, sir. I mean, the planning and devolution ministry is responsible for ensuring that devolution works, and then our plans as a country are well taken care of. Actually, that is the basic responsibility of this ministry.
But there are no defined functions of those of that ministry, and you compare now with our counties, with so many functions, with they have agriculture, they have health, they have many other functions, they have employees, and they get an average of about 5 billion in a year, 5 billion, 6 billion. And here is a single ministry without defined functions getting over 85 billion. That's why I'm saying that this is actually contempt, is the impunity, because hiyo picha akiona kwa pesa anafikiria ni yake. Kwa hivyo anatumia vile anataka. And it is actually now, we should say enough is enough.
Yeah.
Enough. And if we are at the point that if that money, if this was in place, Akina Waiguru would not have anywhere to take their money, because they can't hide it. They can't hide it. There are rumors, I don't know how true they are, that she recently bought a residence worth between 150 to 280 million, where she's living at. And if that is true, if you do an investigation, you find that that property is not registered in her name. It is probably registered in some company that is not even registered here, probably in Cape Verde.
Now, Mr. Gitonga, what you're talking about is mind-boggling. What are you talking about here? Buy a property of that multitude of that amount of money, and then you say registration of this property is not very clear, and it's belonging to a company that is mysterious. What are you talking about?
Yes, that is what happens in this country. Because it doesn't matter. Nobody asks what you do, where the money has come from. The registrar of lands doesn't care. That is not his business. His business is that he has seen the signature of Nick. I have sold this property to. I have transferred. Whether it was given, whether it was bought, or whether it was stolen, that is not his business. Is this Nick's signature? Period.
No, I think I must come to the defense of Waiguru. You men are very hard on Waiguru. What is wrong about this lady? Everybody seems to be crying and lamenting and condemning from whichever corner of this country. Waiguru. What is up to Waiguru?
Waiguru in this case is such we are not just talking Waiguru as a person.
Yeah.
We are saying the act of stealing from us is why Waiguru is it. You know, in fact, it will probably acquire new meaning. Waiguruism
now is
it's about people who are looting from public coffers without shame. People who are treating Kenyans with contempt, and they go out there later on with their families and what have you. Then they portray themselves as very good businessmen. Yeah.
Before we turn back to our debate, Waiguru recently said that, and even the office of the DCI and the police say Waiguru will be a witness of our own kind about the stealing out there, or rather the wrongs that have been done in her ministry. How does that sound? How is it?
Yeah, when that's a contradiction in the way this government is carrying out its affairs. Yeah, and they actually don't have any shame, you know. They don't feel it. They should be embarrassed about themselves, because they have different standards for different people. Others they suspended others just for being mentioned, and they were in fact for a lot of CSs who are suspended, there were no indication that money was lost. Here, Madame Waiguru comes and tells us first that they have noticed something, and they have noticed some irregularities, and they stopped it before any money was lost. Then later on, she comes and said, oh, by the way, now we have noticed actually, yeah, in fact, we did lose some money, but it wasn't me. It is them.
It is them.
It is them. All right. It is them. And then he goes ahead and colludes. It's a collusion, because there's no way that when the DCI they did the investigation, they came to report to her. How? On what basis would they report to her?
Yeah.
On what basis? Because it is a conspiracy. Just just now to pass the buck, and whereas we know the buck stops at the top. When they were saying that NYS did in 2 years what Raila did not do in Kibera over 20 years. So the one who was getting the credit. But it's not. We didn't even know who the PS is. We did not. Yeah. So here she claims on one hand that she's not the one that does procurement. She doesn't do operations. But on the other hand, she's getting credit for cleaning drainages and building some 2 toilets in Kibera.
not to really. The toilets, Gitonga. You guys get fair to Lady Waiguru. Now, having said that, Mangiti and Dr. Githinji, Nelson Githinji, the director of NYS, right now they've got to face the courts for serious allegations of corruption. This is now official. Are they carrying a cross too big for them, or have they been sacrificed at the altar?
Well, I think okay. To be fair, if anything, they should be where they are at.
Yeah.
Okay. The only thing is that Nani is not with them, or Madam Waiguru, because either way they committed either crimes of commission or commission. Yeah, so and the part stops with them.
So the only missing person according to you?
Yes, Nani are rightly before the court. If you asked me.
Mangiti and Githinji.
Yes, they are rightly before the court. The only thing is that Waiguru is missing. And in all fairness, she should be there. If she is clean, then she should go back to her to her job. It's not that it was created for her or she was created for that.
Yeah.
For that office. The office is there, and she will go at any one time. She will go.
Definitely.
We had this guy. We had this gentleman from Kipipiri, known as
Amos Kimunya.
Amos Kimunya, who was telling people that the stock exchange is not a fish market. He was telling us, I would rather die than resign. But what did he do? Finally, he resigned, and then further thereafter, the people of Kipipiri made him resign, and resign for good. Akampeleka nyumbani. So even Waiguru, regardless of how she holds on, ataenda, she'll not last there forever. She should also ask Kibaki. Kibaki si alijileta 2007 kwa nguvu kwa back to power. Si miaka ya 5 iliisha, si yako nyumbani. Yes, go.
I think Gitonga, now this must come for another day. I think it's now getting hot. That must come for another day. With all due respect to the retired President Mwai Kibaki, we will talk about that. Now, I want us to go back to our debate shortly for just 2 minutes, and then you clear for us something here about the petition as we go on with the talks. Now, inherited property. I looked at your petition and found an area where I had some interest. If my father bought or got wealth irregularly, and then as a son or as a child, I've got every right to inherit it. Why do you want in your petition that kind of wealth must be subjected to Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission for verification before I inherit my father's property?
That is very good. By the way, this one will also help us clear some what is historical injustices. Because now, for instance, if that becomes a law and a requirement, in machamba ya Kenyatta, then you will not be able to transfer that property. So, all those chambers in Tafeta and what have you, you will be required to show us how did you get this land, really, seriously, how did you get it? And because it's in the 60s, yeah? When he purportedly bought, we are not on the record that any banks have burned down.
Yeah.
That records are not there.
Yeah.
How he bought that land, yeah. Then he'll be able now to explain. I bought through Barclays Bank,
yeah.
I bought through Kenya Commercial Bank, and this is those records are there. The gist of the matter is that people who are corrupt or who are doing drugs or people who are selling our children, trafficking children, or doing doing pornography or things like that, or pirates from what they would do, what they can do is sometimes they can buy property through their kinsmen, through their children, or through their brothers, or through their friends, and then later on get this money, property back to them through inheritance or through gifts. Yeah, I have a car here, and I'm a policeman who is earning 20,000 shillings or 30,000 shillings. Then I have bought a car here of 2 million shillings. There's no way I'll be able to explain that source of money. But I can buy it as a policeman. I can buy it through my brother Nick, and then Nick purports to give it back to me as a gift.
As a gift or a present.
Yes. What this would mean is that if Nick buy the property through for me, I will never be able, that property will never come back to me
As the owner.
as the owner, a registered owner.
Okay.
Because I would have to show proof of how this property came to me. If Nick really is giving me the car, okay, then that corruption will look at Nick and like, okay, now you're giving your brother a 1 million shillings car. Now, wewe, hata bibi yako hana gari. So how come?
How come? How generous would that be?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, now I think I'll have again another time with you to discuss more about this petition. However, I can't leave you without just half a minute of wanting to know. You seem to be so critical of the government, and I had also some wind that you are a supposed candidate for a seat. With this kind of effort and brain, are you up to something in the political landscape?
Well, to be honest, Nick, I've been around the political arena for some time.
Yeah.
I actually started way back in the 90s during the clamour for multipartyism.
Yeah.
We did fight along or behind the likes of Orengo, Imanyala, Moite, Wambo, Jacob, then Mzee Odinga, and thereafter. But I've mostly been in Nyeri, and actually until last month I was the branch chairman of ODM in Nyeri, and but having done my politics there for some time in Nyeri, I saw that probably I was leaving a vacuum here. Nilikuwa naenda kuzima moto, kuzima nini huko, kulikuwa na kuzima moshi huko, lakini nikaona nawacha moto pale naichi. So zozo nikaona afadhali I come back and do my activities in Nairobi, and I stay in Starehe. And Starehe, we got frustrated last time because we lost a seat that we should have gotten. We lost a seat to Jubilee. Yeah. And so nikaona there was a big vacuum. So I have, but since I know a lot of people, and I decided to come and work together with the ODM fraternity in Starehe to make sure that we not only we make we make Starehe strong. Yeah. And now as we are approaching the Okoa Kenya, we want to make sure that Okoa Kenya, we deliver maximum votes to Okoa Kenya, and we make sure that we deliver the seat somehow. We have to deliver the seat to Jacom come 2017. And we have to deliver maximum seats to Jacom in 2017 in Starehe. That is where my efforts are. That is what now I am working on. And if need be, by the time we come to 2017 or sometime next year, if the party deems fit that I run for that seat, so be it, because I'm committed to the party. I've been working for the party. I'm a life member. I'm a founder member of ODM. I've been a life member since its inception. Last the elections of Men in Black in Kasarani, I was running for organizing secretary of ODM, okay. National organizing secretary. Okay. Unfortunately, we were not able to hold the elections, but I'm still very active in the party. I work with our able chairman, His Worship Landwa, is my chairman in the county. Yeah. I've also got another gentleman in Starehe, anaitwa Ojango. He's the chairman of ODM in Starehe. I'm working closely with them to make sure first and foremost that ODM is active and strong in our constituency.
Wow. And I must bring this to a close now. However, you've just fallen short of telling us if you're going to carry the entire burden of delivering the seat to COD 2017. Is it you or somebody else will be doing this? That is now for you to tell us next time. But I know people will be asking, and what is it all about? All of this will have time.
Yes,
and in all your endeavors, wish you all the best, brother. In all this petition, please push on. In any capacity you can fight corruption, please go on.
Thank you, Nick. I'll do my part, yeah. And I know the citizens will also do their part. And the MPs, I believe and I do hope, yeah, that this time you look, be yourself, and for the sake of their children and our children and future generations, that they vote this in, and so that we join in the League of Nations that provide for accountability in whatever we do, and especially when it comes to our wealth.
Good, brother.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you for having me.
All the best.
Yes, I hope we have another opportunity to continue this
Absolutely,
discussion.
absolutely,
Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you very much, our viewers, everywhere you who are watching this. This program was brought to you by LTN, and we believe that all the discussions that you've had here are beneficial to you. You've been informed, you've been educated. If there are questions, use our normal channels for queries, use our normal channels for communication. We'll be willing to always contact you and give you the feedback in time. My name's Nick Okello. Thank you very much, my guest, Mr. Gitonga Wathanga. Next time we call you, please do avail yourself.
Thank you.
Until we meet again, this is LTN.